All right, guys, so like I said in the last video, ultimately we're going to want to have a Redux action to make a request to the back end, but I'm just going to do it here before we even implement Redux, just to test it out. So let's bring in Axios. So we want to import Axios from Axios, and we want to go down to our onSubmit. Now we're using a sync await, so we want to make sure we mark this as asynchronous, and let's see, we want to go down in the else. So remember, we have access to form data, which is going to be filled with the form data, and I'll just go ahead and create a new user object, which is going to have the name, email, and this is the same as me just doing this for the variables above, password. So we have our new user, and then I'm just going to do a try catch. Okay, so in the try here, since we're actually sending data, we want to create a config object that has a headers object, and we want to just add a content type of application /JSON. Let's make that lowercase. Okay, and then after that, after we create the config, we'll go ahead and create the body, and I'm just going to do a JSON.stringify and JSON stringify that new user. Okay, so now we have a body to send. So let's create a variable called res for the response, and then we want to await the Axios.post request. Okay, because remember, Axios returns a promise, and we're making a post request. The route we're hitting, just to show you in our back end, if we go to routes users.js, and we're hitting this right here, API/users, we're sending the name, email, and password, and then it should add it to the database, and it should return a token to us. So let's go ahead and let's close this up. So we're making a post request to, and we should just be able to do /API/users because we added the proxy. And then the second parameter is the data, or the body, and then the third is the config, which has the header value of the content type. Why can't I spell this? Okay, and then what I'll do is just console log the res.data that we get back, which should be the token. Okay, if there's an error, then let's we'll console error dot response dot data. We should get something in that. Okay, so let's try it out. We'll go back to our form and let's register. So we already have a few users. I'm actually going to go to MongoDB. And let's sign in here. So let's see. That's not my password. Okay, so if we go to our collections, and obviously yours will be different. But I have two users. I have me and I have John Doe. So I'm going to register someone different. Let's do Kevin Smith. Address, we'll say Kevin@gmail. Password, we'll do 1 through 6. And let's register. All right, cool. So on the side here in the console, you can see that we get back a token. So this token we could then use to access protected routes. So that's exactly what should happen. Now, if I go back to my database and I reload, we should see Kevin. And there he is. Okay, so password gets hashed in the back end. We get the gravatar. So it's the exact same thing as what we were doing through Postman when we were accessing that route. All right, so I mean, we're not going to keep this code because this is going to happen within a Redux action. I don't want this to happen within the component, but I just wanted to give you an example of actually making a request. So I'm going to just kind of undo everything I just did. Actually, I'll just get rid of all this, and I'll just keep it for now. I'll just say console log success. All right, so if you want to keep that code and comment it out or whatever, that's fine, but I don't want it taking up too much space, so I'm just going to get rid of it. But you can now see that we can access the back end. We no longer need Axios either. Now the last thing I want to do is the login form. So it's going to be very, very similar to this. So I'm going to just copy everything we did here, and inside login.js, we'll paste that in. And let's just replace register with login. Also down at the bottom where we export, we want to change that to login. Now as far as the form data, it's going to be just email and password. That's all we need for the login. So we'll get rid of those two, and then we'll get rid of them here as well. So on change can stay the same, that's fine. On submit, we're not going to match passwords, it's a login, so I'll just get rid of that. We'll just do a console log success. Okay, and then down here, let's say sign in instead of sign up, and we'll say instead of create your account, sign into your account. And then let's see, we don't want the name, we don't need that input. Actually, we'll get rid of that whole form group div. And then we do want the email, we'll keep that. Let's get rid of this small text though, we don't need that. And then we do want the password, but we don't need this form group with the password too, the confirm, so we'll get rid of that. And then just change this to login. And for the paragraph, instead of saying already have an account, we're going to say don't have an account. Then you want to go to, actually these need to be changed, I didn't even realize that. So we have to bring in link. We'll do this in the register form too. So let's bring in link from React router DOM. And then let's change this to link to, it's going to go to /register, and let's say sign up. Okay, and then I'm just going to copy this link import into our register file as well, and then let's just change that down at the bottom here where we have this a tag. So link to, and this will be /login, just like that, and this should also be changed to link. All right, so I'll save that. Let's make sure that we can see the login form. So we'll go back here, sign up works, and there's our sign in. Okay, so in the next video, or in the next section rather, we're going to start to implement Redux because we need that app level state to hold our user data, profile data, alerts, things like that. All right, so I'll see you in the next section.